All right. Well, I left West Palm Beach, Florida on October 2nd, and it is now Sunday, October 4th at 11:05 p.m. here in Tbilisi, Georgia. So I've made this video just to kind of show my experience from the time I left West Palm all the way to, not my second day here in Georgia, or rather, second night here in Georgia, one whole 24 hours or 26 hours, something like that. So yeah, so I'll just it's my first video, so I'm not really putting that much effort into all of this, but you can kind of just see a little bit about what my experience has been like. I'll show some photos and some videos, and then kind of just speak over them. Yeah, that's pretty much it. This is just for anyone who's interested in what it's like to travel internationally right now during the COVID era, and more specifically, I guess, how to enter the Schengen area for transit purposes, and what my time here in Georgia has been here thus far. All right, so I'm testing this voiceover feature. So here we basically just have a picture of my ticket. So at the Palm Beach International Airport, I went to the check-in counter, and I showed her my passport, and she just had to like verify all the rules and regulations and stuff. She asked me. I told her I was basically just going to Paris to transit to Tbilisi, Georgia by myself, and she just kind of had to look up things in her system. It doesn't look like the United is too updated on everything, but that's just because things keep on changing. But yeah, eventually she gave me my two boarding passes, and off I went. Palm Beach International Airport doesn't have any lounges or anything, so I just kind of grabbed breakfast somewhere and then just kind of waited until I got into the plane. What was nice though is that I did get upgraded while I was in the middle of the flight. So the flight attendant just kind of comes up to me and tells me that I've been upgraded, and so here I went from my exit row seat all the way up front, and this is what they serve in a domestic first class flight, just like a tapas box and drinks, nothing too out of the ordinary. But it was still pretty neat. I don't normally take videos or pictures of what it looks like outside of the window because I never actually sit next to the window. But on this particular leg of the trip to Newark Liberty, my upgrade was a window seat, and so here you basically just have a video of what it looked like. I guess you can kind of see the New Jersey-New York border here. Since I am flying first class from Newark to Paris, technically there's like a special lounge that's really nice called the United Polaris Lounge, and it's currently closed because of COVID. So I had to go to the regular United Club, and because I was in Polaris, they just kind of gave me unlimited drinks. I only really had a White Russian, of course. Here you can see, but they also gave me like a Star Wars mini kit, and yeah, there wasn't any really hot food except for noodles, but it was kimchi flavored, so that I did not get. Even though I wasn't actually staying in the Schengen area, I still needed to fill out an international travel certificate to get into France. And yeah, these are just something that I had to fill out. Once I actually got to the gate that goes from Newark um, to Paris, we all needed to have our documents checked, making sure that we were good to go. If you are actually going to Paris, you need to have a PCR test that's valid within like 72 hours before your arrival in France. Obviously, I didn't need that because I was just making a transfer from Paris to Tbilisi. I was incredibly excited to try out this new Polaris first class seat. And you can see here that it came with another amenity kit with an eye cover, lip balm, things like that. And it also came with a Saks Fifth Avenue blanket, which was really nice. Here I am trying to open it and unravel it. But yeah, it was like super comfy. So this next clip is going to be a little bit long, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys how this seat is able to recline 180 degrees. And one of the cool things is that like I'm a tall guy. I'm 6'3", about 188 centimeters tall, and usually when I fly, I always do the exit row or economy plus if I'm flying domestically, and this with this seat, I was able to just recline all the way back, and I fit. And actually, I feel like you can be like I think I looked it up, and I feel like you can be 6'6", and you can still like fit here, like from head to toe, which is really nice. It's a little bit small. It kind of feels like I'm getting an MRI done. If you're claustrophobic, that might be an issue. But yeah, it was pretty neat just being able to lie down completely. And I do mean completely, completely. So here we have some some pictures of me basically lying down. And of course, you had to wear a mask. You can't really see me, but here I am smiling from grin to grin because of just how amazing the seat is. So normally, your meal is supposed to come in different courses, but to kind of limit contact, it was all kind of brought in on one course. I had three different options. There was some risotto, and I forgot what the other one was, but I ended up getting the ravioli. And here you can see all of the different sides that it came with. I hadn't flown with United for many months, and so I hadn't had these waffles that are just super cool. And I also got some gummy bears. About an hour before we landed, it was time for breakfast, and they came around and they gave us some frittata. So again, I don't normally take videos or pictures of the window because I'm never really sitting by the window. I prefer aisle. But here are some footage of what the City of Lights, Paris, looks like at around I don't know 6:30 in the morning, 7 o'clock, something like that. So I was the first person off of the plane. I was sitting in seat 1L. So as soon as we landed, I got out, and was also one of the first people. Well, actually, I think I was the first to get to the immigration line from our flight, and they basically just asked me for proof that I was making a connection to Georgia, and then they stamped my passport, got my luggage, took an Uber to Terminal 2E. There's a shuttle, but I couldn't be bothered. And once I got there, I checked in myself automatically with some kiosk, and yeah, and then came the fun part. And obviously, I'm being sarcastic. The fun part was having to wait like 20, 30 minutes in this super duper long line, but eventually we were able to go through security. Fun fact, Tbilisi in French is spelled with two S's. Also, this flight is code shared between Georgian Airways and Air France. And to prove it's Air France, they gave us this little red bag with goodies, and it wasn't really that good actually. It was basically bread with more bread essentially, and inside there was some vegetables or something. Nothing that I would really write home about. It was pretty awful actually. There's also a group of about a dozen or so Chinese citizens who were all dressed up in hazmat suits, basically. And you'll see another photo right after this lovely video. All right, so here again is some more footage. This is just above the Tbilisi as we were just getting into the city. I wasn't sitting by the window because, like I said, I always choose the aisle, but the guy in the window seat took this footage for me. So once we landed, we were all lined up. There were about four or five lines or something like that, and we all had to keep some distance between the other person. And there were different like stages basically. But once we kind of actually got to the front, we all had our like temperatures checked with some ray gun, and then we waited a little bit more, and then I just had to like give my passport to someone, and it looked like they had some type of list because then they just checked that list, and then I went straight ahead towards immigration, And at immigration, they just asked me to take off my mask to see my face, and then stamped my passport. So that was super easy. They just basically had to show my passport. They kind of were already expecting that I was coming today. And once there, I got my luggage and then waited outside for the Best Western guy who was actually already there with a little sign with my name on it, which is really cool. So the ride from the airport to the hotel took about half an hour or so, and so here you can just see footage of that ride.
City? Yes. This is
This is the Liberty Square?
yes.
Eventually, we got to the Best Western Tbilisi Center Hotel. Here you can see some pictures of what my room looks like. Pretty basic room, chair, table. What's nice is that I do have a balcony, so I can go outside a little bit, sit there and do some work, eat, whatever. So I arrived around 10 p.m. or so, checked in, and then as soon as I got to the room, I ordered some room service. So I ordered a kachapuri, and they asked me if I wanted normal or royal, and so I chose royal, and it ended up being a sauceless pizza with like extra cheese. And then I also got some eggplant with walnuts, which I didn't really like. I just had too many flavors on it, but it did come with pomegranate seeds, which was really nice. Around 7:30 in the morning, I called the receptionist and talked and asked her about breakfast. And I can't actually go down to the buffet. They need to bring it up to me because I can't leave the room. And so here you can just see what I had for breakfast. I made the mistake of ordering an omelet with vegetables, and it came in with like red pepper. So I just took the red pepper out and ate it, but it was pretty good. And then it also came with porridge, which was kind of interesting. I don't normally have that for breakfast. Even in Hong Kong, where they have congee, which is a similar concept. So around noon or so, I called for lunch, and I this time I decided to get the regular kachapuri, but nope, ended up being the same as yesterday, except less cheese. um, and then on the menu, it said porridge with cheese, and I was like, okay. I tried porridge this morning, but let me try it again with cheese. But nope, it was actually just like a cornbread with cheese. So yeah, a lot of bread and a lot of cheese. My first couple of meals here. So for dinner, I decided to just get a ham and cheese sandwich and go Western, and then also got some pasta here, some farfalle. So Georgia would be my second former USSR country. My first one was actually Azerbaijan. I went there 3 years ago. I went to Baku, and so here you can just kind of see where Georgia lies on this map of Asia. And then here is my entire map. Yeah, as you can see, I just kind of haven't really been to Africa, but hope to get there soon. All right, and that's pretty much it. It's my first video. I haven't used iMovie in super long time. I think the last time I used it was for a project I did back in college, my freshman year of college. But yeah, I'll let y'all know how the rest of my quarantine life here is like. One of the other things was that there's like a Facebook group with people who are expats who live here in Tbilisi, or people who are in the process of applying for this digital nomad visa. And it's not a visa, it's like a permit, or it just allows me to enter Georgia and bypass all of these COVID-19 restrictions. But yeah, there's someone else here from the Czech Republic, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I can't wait to actually leave this hotel in about 7 days. So in about 7 days, in 6 days, I'll be tested, and then I'll get the results on the next day. And then once it's negative, I'm sorry, then I can finally leave. But yeah, I'm still in the process of finding an apartment. I'll likely find something on Airbnb and just kind of live there month to month until I figure out how long I'm going to be here and when I can finally go back to China. All right, so that's pretty much it. Bye bye.